Welcome to this session on Ekalavya. Ekalavya is a wonderful character in Mahabharata who was wrongly understood, wrongly represented, and grossly misinterpreted and wrongly presented to the world. His character, his behavior, his lineage, his descendants, all were improperly presented to the normal known society. Many of us in the society were unaware about the descendancy, lineage, and actual behavior and character of Ekalavya. This session is meant to remove wrong perceptions, wrong understandings, and to correct our notions on Ekalavya's character, behavior, and personality as presented in Mahabharata by the great Vedavyasa. To understand Ekalavya's entire character, personality, there are two important texts. One is, of course, the Mahabharata, and also Harivamsha Purana. Harivamsha Puranam is also written by Vedavyasa himself. So these two Puranas give us the complete picture of Ekalavya. So before anyone speaks on Ekalavya, one must understand, go through the real correct texts and correlate the incidents. In the Mahabharata, beginning itself in the Adi Parvam, there is a Upaparva called as Amshavatara Parvam, in which all the characters of the Mahabharata and all the famous personalities of those times, their descendancy, lineage, and their purpose of their birth was mentioned. Why they are born, who is born as whom, and which personality has a predominant and a dominant quality of which characters. And while mentioning that, Ekalavya has been mentioned as possessing dominant and predominant character of demonic and angry Krodhamsha Rakshasa Amsha is. Krodha Vasha Rakshasa Amsha it is. A very angry demonic character. That those seeds are there in him. And he was born with that qualities. And Drona on the other side is none other than Brihaspati himself. And like this, a detailed description is given in the Amshavatara Upaparva of the Mahabharata's Adi Parva. Now coming back to Ekalavya, in the Harivamsham, Ekalavya's family was being described. We all of us are aware, Shurasena Maharaja and his wife Bhojaraja Kumari. And this Bhojaraja Kumari and Shurasena Maharaja, they have 10 boys and 5 girls, 15 children. And in which Vasudeva, Krishna's father, is one of the sons of Shurasena. And Vasudeva is the first son, eldest son. Then he has 9 brothers, Devabhaga, Devashra, Anadrushti, Kanavak, Vatsavan, Grinjim, Shyama, Shamika, and Gandushaha. And Vasudeva got 5 sisters: Pruthukirti, Pratha, Shrutadeva, Shrutashrava, and Rajadhi Devi. And this Pratha is the Kunti later on. So Vasudeva's second brother, Devashrava, had a child, a boy, and his name was Shatrughna. We should remember Shatrughna, the name from the Ramayana, the brother of Rama. So, brother of Rama, name was given to Devashrava's son, Shatrughna. And circumstances became like that. This Shatrughna was abandoned. Harivamsha or Mahabharata does not make any reason and present any reason for giving up the son. But Shatrughna was given up by his father and the mother, that is Devashrava and Devashrava's wife. And this Shatrughna was picked up by Hiranyadhanva, who was the king of Nishadas. And after picking up the son, he named him as Ekalavya. So Ekalavya was the name given by the Nishada king Hiranyadhanva, who got the son by chance. And actually Ekalavya's original name was Shatrughna, and he was the son of Devashrava, who was the son of Shurasena, and Devashrava was the brother of Vasudeva. There is a need to understand this particular lineage, because Krishna was also the son of Vasudeva. So Krishna and Ekalavya are related. And Krishna and Kunti were related. And Kunti and Ekalavya were related. And Ekalavya and Pandavas are related. So there is a relationship, very close relationship. Without understanding, without knowing the truth behind this, in the present generation, in the normal society, Ekalavya has been presented as a Dalit, as a Bhil, as a Nishada, as a tribal man. And his caste is downtrodden, low caste. But we should remember, it was not like that. Ekalavya was a king, born king. And we should remember, is very, very closely related to Sri Krishna, Kunti and the Pandavas. And this Ekalavya, when he was given up, he was picked up by the Hiranyadhanva, and Hiranyadhanva trained him in all the archery, armory, and all the weapons. Entire Dhanurvidya was taught to him. But being a limited knowledge of the entire warfare, Hiranyadhanva wanted his son to become a master in archery. Here we should also remember, Hiranyadhanva was a commander-in-chief under Jarasandha, who was a demon, an asura, a rakshasa. So Hiranyadhanva was the ruling Nishada kingdom, and very close, part of the commander-in-chiefs of the Jarasandha's army. So Hiranyadharma, to educate his son Ekalavya to achieve mastery in the archery, he brings him to the Drona. In those times, Drona is the person who is considered to be the best, the top, unbeaten, unparalleled master in the archery. Thousands of people learned under Drona. Mahabharata mentions hundreds and thousands of princes, kings, studied archery, weaponry, Dhanurvidya under Drona's tutelage. Dhanurvidya does not involve just only armory, arrows and bows. It involves entire knowledge of the warfare. And Drona is the master. There is nobody who can beat, conquer Dronacharya. He is a university by himself. Entire embodiment of Dhanurvidya, warfare, and the master of that. And he was already appointed specifically to teach Kauravas and the Pandavas. And anybody to be admitted in the university of Drona, if Drona has to accept anybody under his tutelage, he must seek permission from Bhishma and Dhritarashtra. It's very clear. When Drona wanted his own son Ashwathama in the same school, he got permission from Bhishma and Dhritarashtra. Incidents and events are very clear. Circumstances are to be properly understood. Drona was appointed by the Kuru kings to teach Kurus and Pandavas, and the tutelage and the warfare teaching is to be taught only to the Maharajas and the sons of the Maharajas. And Drona has no freedom to accept anybody by himself. So when Hiranyadharma brought his son Ekalavya to be taught, Drona Mahabharata describes very beautifully in the Adiparvam. Drona Pashyaha, he looked at Ekalavya up and down, glanced at him, and closed his eyes, looked at him once or twice. He has measured Ekalavya's character, Ekalavya's future, Ekalavya's capabilities, Ekalavya's mentality, behavior, his in-deep qualities, being a master. By looking at the child who came to learn, Drona glanced at him, scanned, browsed his entire personality, and very quietly told him that he will not teach him, he will not be accepted under his tutelage. And Ekalavya prostrates to Dronacharya, quietly goes out, returns back. There was no anger, there was no any kind of jealousy, hatred, depression. Ekalavya just accepted. Drona just refused it. The event is over there. But many of our modern commentators, speakers, keep on hampering that Drona refused because of Ekalavya's caste, Ekalavya's Dalitness. Drona knows who is Ekalavya. He is aware of Ekalavya's lineage, his birth, and being a far-sighted guru, could have, must have estimated what will happen in future. If he teaches Ekalavya, and apart from it, just physically, Drona has been an appointed teacher of the Kauravas. So he refused it. There is nothing wrong in finding fault with Drona refusing Ekalavya as a student in his school of archery and Dhanur Vidya. This much we should understand. And unnecessarily interpreting Drona as a Brahmin, Ekalavya as a non-Brahmin, and his refusal to teach him because of non-Brahmin, all such arguments, all such low-level discussions doesn't stand there. We should remember, Dronacharya is a master, is the greatest of the archers in those times. And his own lineage is the Brihaspati. And this is how Ekalavya has been refused. But what Ekalavya did, he returned back. He went back. And returned to his kingdom and started practicing on his own. And what happened in future times and what followed later on, we shall see in our next episode on Ekalavya. So this much is clear. Ekalavya is a born king. He was related to Krishna, Kunti and the Pandavas. In that way, he is related also to the entire Kauravas. And he was refused to be taught by Drona, not because of any caste considerations, but because Drona estimated, knew and measured the personalities. And this much is to be clearly understood. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.